Hi! Hello! My name is Alligator, and I am doing a tutorial for how I make animated emotes. And I'm doing this as a live stream because I suck at video editing. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully my audio is working. Oh, hi. Yeah, it works. Okay, cool. Alright. It's, let me make sure that, like, my audio stuff is, like, got the right microphone. Microphone. Anyway, I don't know how long this is gonna go on. I don't know how long it's gonna take me. Gonna hear it? Oh, I reset the source last night. Let me reset the source again. Get it to work again. I don't know why it's like doing that. Yay. I tried to do window capture and then like, window capture for some reason just showed my entire desktop, so that's fun. That's cool. I love that. Not something I wanted to do, but I guess I need to clean up my desktop. Alright, give me just a sec. Let me check sound alerts. I figured it'd be easier to do this live stream because I suck at video editing and people can come on and ask questions if they want to ask questions. Alright, I'm gonna play that again. See if you hear anything this time, okay?
Hello, motherfucker.
Yeah, I hear it on my end, but I don't know if you guys can hear it. Okay. Okay. I'm super organized. Super organized. Alright, let me make sure that like my alerts and stuff are all the way up. Because I fixed the settings last night and I don't know why suddenly you can hear it now. Okay, good.
What's up?
Okay, there we go. Alright, if it's too loud, let me know. Yeah. Okay. I suck at recording videos. I suck at like editing videos, so I know that like the only way I'm gonna be able to do this is if I go live. So sorry if this is scuff. Sorry if this is a mess. Sorry if it's like not perfectly like edited, whatever. I suck at polishing anything. So yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to show the entire thing, but hopefully you can garner something from this. Yeah. I guess I'll get started, and if you have any questions while I'm doing this, feel free to ask, and I will try to answer as best I can. It is hot in my house, so I might have to get up and turn my AC on. I don't know, but. Yeah, Scuff is my middle name, I guess. Okay, so, when choosing to make an emote specifically to be animated in Live 2D, you'll want to start out as a Photoshop file. So I'm gonna go through real quick, and show what the file should look like in, well, this is Clip Studio Paint, but you're gonna save it as a Photoshop file because you want all of your layers to be separate. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to show exactly and kind of talk while I'm like going through the layers, and then I'll go into Live 2D and then we'll go from there. This is gonna be like kind of quick, just because it's already drawn. This one's already been done, and it will take me a lifetime to draw an entire new emote. So, you want to start with having each layer separate that you want to move, basically. So, this being a light sticks emote, we want the arms separated, right? So, I'm going to show how that looks like with the arms gone. And what you really want to do is the original emote when you draw, well, this emote base didn't have the underlayer here. Oh, yeah, you see where I'm pointing. Okay, cool. The original base did not have the underlayer. It only had from the shoulders and like where the hands are here. So when you take away, you want to draw underneath that layer anything that will be showing when you move that object. So if I go to move this arm, so say I'm gonna move this arm We'll move it in Clip Studio. And this will translate when I go to do the live 2D animation. So I'm gonna move this arm. We want to be able to see underneath that arm wherever it's going, right? So if I were to, you know, not do that, let's see, let's take something away. I'm gonna undo what I just did. If I did that and I took that away, you would see this transparency here. You'd see like a big section of transparency and it would look like a bunch of like, you know, clipped parts. You'll probably see that when I go to take the hair pieces away of what I'm talking about, because the hair pieces don't really move, but the light sticks do. And I think I fixed this one. The original version of this or I will get the animated version that I have currently. The original version doesn't have eye blink, so let's take away a few more layers. So you want to separate the layers, each piece on a different layer. Now see where it's showing like a piece of like transparency here? That's because I didn't expect to move this piece. I didn't expect this piece to move at all, so I didn't draw underneath this piece. In order to avoid that, you want to draw every piece. Hydrate and stretch. Hi, kawaii kitties. Hello. I will hydrate and stretch, yes. And I will get my nerves out. Thank you. Hydrated. Thank you. And stretch. So it's very imperative that each piece that you want to move with Live 2D needs to be drawn completely. This makes more sense if you were to watch tutorials on clipping. I believe it's called clipping. For preparing your art for Live 2D. I'm not gonna go into detail about how to do that really, because I don't know a whole lot about like clipping and things like that. So we're gonna kind of like really quickly go through how the pieces should be separated, and then I'm gonna go into Live 2D and show what I did for this. So yeah, if I wanted to have the ponytail swing and the ears move and, you know, like do the bunny thing, probably would need to go in and draw this underlayer here. So I'm really just gonna keep showing like the separated layers. These bang pieces move a little bit with breathe. So like her like breathing action kind of like bounces up and down, but they don't move a whole lot. So I didn't like go crazy on drawing the entire like detail of it. Now if you have any questions, please like stop me for a second and like tell me to slow down. Anything you need to ask, go ahead. But like it's just like a quick like comprehensive how to have the layers separated. So like her head, right? So if you wanted to go like really complex with your emote animation, the head would need to be drawn in, the hair would need to be drawn in, all of these pieces would need to be drawn in. Now I've separated the eyebrows and the eyelash, the top eyelash and the eyeball, because the eyeball and the eyelash are going to blink. So the eyeball here is going to get pushed up into the eyelash. The eyelash has to be separated. Because when I go in with the deform tool, and you will see what it looks like if I go in with a deform tool and I have them both selected, it's going to make it a mess. So we're going to have those two separated so they can blink. And I know this looks absolutely crazy right now, but I promise there's a method to the madness. And then we have the other eyelash separated, and then we have the other eye. And then the base. So that's basically what you want to do is you want to separate all your layers and make sure you're drawing underneath the layers, especially if you want everything to move. Since this is an animated emote and it's a very simple emote, not everything is going to move. So that's what that looks like, and make sure it's saved as a Photoshop document. You can save as a PNG if you want a static emote, but we're gonna save as Photoshop document because we want those layers preserved. So I'm gonna save that again. I'll save. And I'm gonna go into Clip Studio and hope that my desktop doesn't show again because I'm gonna have to highlight that out. Yippee! Somehow I have browser selected. Give me a sec. Window capture I want to be live 2D. So give me a second, I'm gonna move that to live 2D. I should have it open, but sometimes OBS does not want to play well with me, so I'm gonna pull that open. Live 2D, where are you? Clip Studio Paint, Live 2D Cubism. I have the premium version of Live 2D. However, the free version works fine. I used the free version to animate this emote originally. The only reason that I got the premium version is so that I could have more parameters for things like my gator tail. And I don't know if my gator tail is still input here, because I will show you the gator tail. It probably would be easier for me to just like upload it. I'll show you basically like things that have like multiple parameters. That would be something that you would want the premium version of Live 2D for, but free version is perfectly fine. I believe it is, I want to say 30, I think it's 30 parameters for the free version of Live 2D. Sorry, excuse me. I'm looking for the gator tail that I made. You can't really see it like close up on stream. I mean, you can see the emote, but it's in like 1,000 files. Hold on. Click, 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 and then emote spaces, and then where did I put that thing? Okay, there it is. So this is the one that I made. This is the one that this is why I got premium. Because it has the physics applied so that the gator tail could move the way that I want it. Now that's not what we're doing today, but this is the reason that I got premium. So like the simple stuff that we're doing today is not going to be something that you really need. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is open that file now. Make sure I'm in the right spot here. Oh no, I closed chat. Where are you, chat? There you are. Okay. This might be like a really quick. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to do the entire thing, piece by piece. Let me move over so you guys can see. Move over so you guys can kind of see the layers. I'm gonna turn chat off, just so you can see what's going on this side. Because on the left-hand side, we're gonna do everything. Yippee! Okay, I'm over here. Down here. There we go. And sorry chat, you're gonna go bye-bye, but I will read any questions out that you guys have. Just cause Live 2D has everything on the left-hand side. Bye-bye, chat. Okay, let me, where is it? There it is. Okay, so let me go ahead and open the file. We're gonna get started out. I can still see you, chat, so behave yourselves. Give me a second and let me get that file out because I don't know where I saved it. I'm gonna do this from scratch, even though I already have the emote animated. So let me go ahead and get that open here. I have 1,000 folders. Forgive me. Emotes. Okay. And we're gonna do this from scratch. It shouldn't take that long, but it might be like an hour, hour and a half. I don't want to go too crazy with it. Okay, there's the document there. Okay, now with Live 2D open and your file open, your Photoshop file open, make sure it's your Photoshop file. Hi, Speaker. Hi. I'm doing a quick tutorial on how I animate emotes in Live 2D because I cannot pre-record anything to save my life, so it's better if I do it as a live stream. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, because I'm gonna do this from scratch, kind of. And plus it gave me the opportunity to fix, like, the colors, with the light sticks. Sorry, excuse me, I'm gonna drink some water. So when you open the file, make sure it's your Photoshop file. You want all your layers to be separated. And I'm gonna go to the side here. I don't know if you can see, it's very, very, very tiny. But if I were to, like, take the eyeball away, you can see the layers underneath. Now, I didn't completely draw up underneath everything, so not everything is going to move, but the light sticks are going to move, like, everything is going to move. So I'm going to put parameters on everything. So what I'm going to do is click right here, up at the top here, on the left hand side, and I'm going to scroll all the way down, hold shift, go all the way to the bottom. And you can kind of see how it, like, selects everything. It's probably better if you draw all of your points, but I'm going to use the auto function. And then when you do the automatic mesh generator, a dialogue will pop up, and I don't know why you can't see it on OBS, but there'll be a dialogue that pops up. It says automatic mesh generator. I'm selecting standard. For something that would be a little more resource heavy, like the tail that I just showed you, that you'd probably use heavy deformation, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But the standard is fine for this. And then you can see now we have a mesh. We have a mesh for every object here. So the pieces that we're gonna have move, right? We're gonna have the arms move. We'll have her blinking. I'll try and see if I can get the ears to move, and then we're gonna have like a breathing motion, like an up and down motion, kind of like a squish to give her a little bit of like a little extra movement. So first things first is I will do the eyes. That should be like the easy thing. Now, if you scroll down to the parameters, you'll see a lot of them are pretty much preset parameters. A lot of these we're not gonna use. So, I think probably the easiest thing, honestly, to do right now is do breath parameter. Let me zoom out. I'll do breath parameter first. Because everything is selected. So with breath parameter, we're gonna go here. We're gonna tap that real quick, and we're going to press the 2 green dots. The 2 green dots are our keyframes. So that's going to be with breathing. So I'll show you right now. This is her set point where she's starting at. This is starting from 0. This is binary. This is where you want it to go back to. And then we're going to move this point over here. And move this up a little bit. And what that does is it does this movement here. I'm going to move these back and forth a couple times just so it records the keyframes. I'm going to make sure that when you're recording the keyframes that these are green. Make sure these are green. Because if you go in and you make everything and they're not green, nothing's being recorded. So that's our basic breath up and down animation, easy peasy. I don't know if it's gonna play. There it goes, kind of a little bit. I might push that a little more though, so let me stop that. I'm just gonna give it a little more like squish to it, a little more like yep, a little more motion to it, right? Now, by no means am I an expert in live 2D. I am basic beginner at best. But I feel like, to me, if you push the parameters a little more, it gives it a little more, what's the word? Makes it a little more, animated. Now, with things like keyframes, breath in particular already has a setting of 1. Now that's something that you can probably go in and change. So that means it's gonna go fast. I don't know how to explain keyframes really. I'm sorry. I'm not most of a like an animation like expert or anything. I just know the lower the keyframes, the faster it's going to go. So with things like the parameters on, we'll do the hand, right? This angle X, this is already set up at 30. That's fine for like body movement, honestly. I'm gonna select out of here. I'm gonna select just this hand. And I'm gonna go in and I'm going to add 2 new keyframes. So remember, we're going to, on this left hand side, keep it set wherever you want it to go back to, or you could do the same. Either way, whichever side you want it to go back to, keep it set here. And then with this keyframe, I'm gonna move it over here, and then I'm gonna click and drag this red area. You see the red box? Let's see if I can scroll up here. See the red box? This here is gonna control, so you can kind of like do things like make it bigger, make it smaller, make it squishy if you want to make it squishy. I'm not gonna do that. Let me undo that. This is supposed to be a simple emote. With this, I'm just gonna move it all the way out here. Make sure there's no gap going on here like what I just did. Kind of keep it in that same area so you don't see like that gap there. This is why I stress the importance of having the areas drawn underneath. And then she'll go there. We can do that. Or if we want to do, let's say we want the light sticks to move not that way. I'm gonna reset that. I'm gonna undo that because I don't know how to reset everything. Hey, Vinci, the Artigator. Hello. Yeah, I'm doing a quick like tutorial on how I animate emotes. So yes, if you have any questions for me, let me know. Instead of doing like a an in and out motion, that's the only way I know how to say that. Because I've gotten used to making the uwu hands, and I think I have an example on here somewhere. This one. This is the most recent one that I did. Instead of doing that, we're gonna kind of angle it so she's like, man, I'm doing the motion with my hands. So she's moving the light sticks a little more like kind of like this direction maybe, or maybe this direction, you know, kind of like mess around with it. Yeah. Kind of mess around with it so that she's kind of moving the light sticks in a certain way that you would move light sticks, right? So I'm just gonna play around with this until I get it where I want it. I feel like this one, I don't remember what I did for this one. Because I had figured these out like offline. So I get it kind of like right there, and then she's gonna move in like that, right? Tail's crazy. Yeah, the tail actually had like quite a bit of like physics applied to it. I'm not happy with it all the way, but it's okay. It's okay. So that's kind of the motion that we're doing. Now this part you're not going to see. This is outside of the viewing area. So just make sure that like you've got things that you don't want to see, the pieces that you got cut off outside of the viewing area, and then everything inside the viewing area will have transparency behind it. We'll do pretty much the same thing with this other hand. So I'm just going to do that for angle Y, even though technically angle X, Y, and Z have like left and right, up and down, side to side kind of denominations, but this is for emotes, so it's fine. Let me undo that. Want to make sure you have whatever it is that you're about to move selected first. See where I go and I select that arm, it makes this one not green anymore. So that's why you have to pay attention if you're doing keyframes or you're like moving things around and you're trying to record them, make sure that they are lit up green. And a good way to just do that is just click it again. So this is going to be like her. The only thing I can think of is binary, but this is going to be like the start position. And then the other one is going to be the end position. And then the end position, I'm just going to kind of angle it a little bit, maybe move it down some. Just angle it a little more. Just give it a little more, like, movement to it. Like that. I kind of want to give it more, though. I want it to, like, look a little more, animated. Okay, so give me just a second. Let me futz with it. Let me play with it a little bit. I really a whole lot of this is just like messing around until you get it where you want it to be and what you want it to look like. See, that has a little more movement to it. And then we'll have an eyes blink. I can try and like move her ears a little bit too. And we're gonna select outside of that so we're not doing the same motion. And I promise I'll probably like play Zelda or something this week. I just wanted to like kind of get this out of the way because I know that I was not going to be able to sit down and do it. Okay, so we will do. I'm gonna delete some of these parameters that I don't need. And I'm sure there's a lot better tutorials out there. I'm sure there's better tutorials out there, but this is just something really, really, really basic that a beginner can do. So we've got the left eye. Which one have I designated as the left eye? Hold on just a second. Let me select everything outside here. I'm gonna select left eye that I have labeled. I'm gonna select it up here. And like I said, feel free to ask any questions. If I'm going too fast, if you don't understand, I'm sure you're not gonna understand. I'm not a good teacher. I'm gonna select the one that I've labeled already, I left, or IL. And then I'm gonna make sure that IL open is selected down here with the parameters. And I'm gonna put keyforms on it here. That's going to be the section where it's back at, right? And what I'm gonna do with this eye is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna squish it up there. Just squish it up in the eyelash. Could you please repeat all you said? I don't not take notes. Watch the VOD. Watch the VOD. So yeah, we're gonna kind of squish it up there. And I'm gonna make sure that looks okay when it's like open and close. Probably not. Let me see if I can get it to like play real quick. No, I don't like that. See, this is why you can like experiment first. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and move the eyelash as well. Make sure that I've got that selected first. Select. Select. Okay, it's still trying to move. I'm gonna zoom in. Sometimes the program breaks for some reason. Alright, let me undo that. I'm gonna zoom out. And make sure that eye is selected first. Why is it not selected? Okay. Select my eyeball, please. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm still gonna do this whole like squish thing, but maybe not make it like teeny tiny. And then while it's in that position, I'm gonna hold control. I'm gonna go back over here to my layers and I'm gonna select eyelash left and I'm gonna select eyebrow left. And by doing that, you see how it turned yellow? These were not on the parameters before. So now the program thinks that I'm not trying to have those animated together. So that's why you have to check and make sure your parameters are set to green whenever you want to record what you're doing. So while we are on this section here, we're over on this side here, I'm going to move everything down all together. That's gonna give me like my winky face. I'm gonna move the eyebrow down a little more. Maybe like over here. You can't really see it because of the hair anyway. Winky face. And then just like mess around with it a little bit. Get it to where you want it, like get it to where you want it to look. I kind of want to, let's see. Kind of want to squish that a little more. Now, with the shape of this eyelash, I might actually do the deformers on it to get it to look a little better. That's a little, blink, 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 blink. Just something simple, right? I will do the same with the other side, and then when we go to the animation screen, I can go and fix some of these things. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna click out of there again. A little bit of like sleepy eye going on. We're gonna click this eye, and we're gonna go to this parameter, eye right, and we're gonna put more keyforms on there. Go all the way this side. Squish, 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 all the way up into the eyelash. Squish, squish, squish. Squish, squish, squish. More squishing. Just like click and drag. Squish, squish, squish. Alright, and then since I'm still selected over here, I'm gonna hold control. Select eyelash right. And then eyebrow right. Eyebrow. There it is. We're gonna move all those down. About right here. About right there. Now see how I didn't record? See how I was like doing all that clicking and dragging, and these are lit up yellow, they're not green. So nothing happened. So we're gonna undo. Undo again, get it back to its original shape, and then I'm going to make sure the keyforms are selected green. Move them down. Again. I'm gonna make sure the eyebrow is where I want it to be, so we can kind of see it. Right? And there's that eyeball. What I'm gonna do now is kind of make them even. You can see what they're doing. Eyes closed and then eyes open. And there is a reason that I put them like on separate layers, but don't have to with something that's simple like this. I'm gonna move that eyebrow a little more because I don't like the position of it, so that. About that. I kind of want to angle that eyebrow, honestly. Well, let's click out of here. I'm gonna just select that eyebrow. Just the eyebrow. We're on eye left. Okay, I gotta make sure I'm on the right parameters. We're on eye left, and then I'm gonna move her down a little more, and I'm gonna kind of like give it a more of an angle to it. And yeah. I probably won't like the way it looks, but that can be fixed. So there's our blink. We've got our arms moving. They're gone now. Arms moving is gone now. Lovely. I love that. I love that for me. Okay. We'll undo whatever I just did here. Click out. Wow, it's completely gone. Alright, let me go over to the animation window and see if, let me see if anything transferred over, otherwise I'm gonna have to do the modeling again. Let me save it first. This is already called Light Sticks, so I'm gonna name it Light Sticks 1.0. Let's see if I can move that over 1.0. Save that. Okay, let me look and see if the parameters are correct, and then I'll go back. I will tell you how did you get to all this, but when I want to make sure it's actually working. Yes. Okay. They're working when I get to the animation screen. And that's what I want. I don't like that. We're gonna have to fix that. I don't know why it's not like... Why the modeling is not working now. There's some things that are like broken on here sometimes. Alright, back to the modeling. Let me double check everything I've got. I don't know if I need to like update everything. I think I just had an update though. Please go back to modeling. Please go back to modeling. I think I broke it. That would suck. I think I broke it. Hold on. What is happening right now? Okay, close that. No. Alright. Everything is missing now. That's lovely. Fun, 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 fun. Okay, there's the angles. Gone now. It's blinking. It's not blinking the way that I want it to. Let me go ahead and mess with the ears real quick, and then we're gonna kind of like save it and reopen the file and make sure it's like working correctly. I'm gonna reset that. I'm gonna reset everything to 0. There it goes. Jeez. Oh, the eyelash didn't move where I want it to go. Alright. That's weird. Alright, so we're gonna save that. I'm gonna reopen this file. Because sometimes the program breaks. Open the file again. And just give it like 2 seconds to figure out what it's doing. Yeah, it's not going where I want it to go. Okay, we're gonna close that completely. Reopen. Open the 1.0. And now I can look at it and make sure everything is fine. There's the arms. Arms again. Okay, perfect. The eye is not doing what it wanted to do. Okay. See, this is why I stress the importance of make sure your parameters are selected before you go into anything. Luckily this is an easy fix, but if you're doing like a more complex, like a more complex model, definitely make sure that you have all your keyframes selected like perfectly. Okay, so we can just fix this real quick because it shouldn't be that hard to do because I've only got a couple things that I'm messing with right now. So since we are on this one, we're gonna select them. Make sure they're green again if I can get it to work. Hello? We're gonna select the eyelash. Eyelash. And then we're going to press Control. Eye left. We have those recorded and I'm going to move this down. That's where I want it. That's where I want it to be. Okay, and since I'm here and I don't like the look of it, what I can do is I can go up here to this tool. This is the deformer tool. I'm gonna make the brush a little bigger. So how to make the brush bigger is you hold down B and you click and drag until the brush is bigger. And what that will do is it will kind of warp this down a bit so you can make the shape that you want it to be. Now, I'm nowhere like an expert at like how to rig in Live 2D, so don't take my word for it, but like it's a great tool. It really is a great tool. I'm just not that great at Live 2D rigging right now. That's fine. I'm just gonna like pull these points up a little bit and like make it look a little more uniform. Okay, and I'm gonna zoom out and see how that looks. something like this, I may just like leave it as is. I'm gonna use the brush. I'm still gonna make the brush a bit bigger, honestly. Just kind of like mess around with it until it looks the way you want it to look. Okay. What I'm gonna do is not do that. What I'm gonna do is not do that. I don't really like the way that looks. Probably because of the way the emote is drawn. I'm just gonna leave it as is, and I don't know how to delete some of this like history here, so bear with me. Bear with me, I know. I know, it's probably a headache. So we're gonna go through and just like not do that. I just don't like the way that it looks, and I don't know if I can like kind of like flip it around or whatever. So we're just gonna have it like a basic shape and hope the animation looks okay. Alright, so now we're back to where we were. I'm gonna use the selection tool and I'm gonna click and drag everything back down. Gonna click and drag. Now I want to make sure the eyebrow is down here as well. Click and drag. Gonna like rotate it a little bit. Maybe move it like right there. Okay, that should be the blink. And we'll do the same thing for the other side, and I want to make sure that I have things correctly selected this time. So I'm going to select eyelash right, and I'm going to select, where's my eye right? And make sure I have those properly selected here. No, we don't. None of the stuff I did earlier worked. Okay. So while we have this open, I'm just gonna fix that real quick. I'm gonna push that all the way up there. Gonna squish it into the eyelash. Goes up into the eyelash like that. And then we're going to control, select, make sure that this is green. So it's recording what I'm doing. We're gonna move that down. There we go. That's what I want. And while we're on this side, we also will take the eyebrow, move the eyebrow down. Probably gonna angle the eyebrow a little more. Like so. Perfect. Okay. Just want to double check my work, make sure it's still there. Now there is such a thing as like a warp deformer and all that stuff. I'm not that advanced. And you've seen my attempt already at using the deformer brush, so we're not gonna do that. What I am probably going to do is try and move maybe the ears a little bit, kind of like have a swing to the ears. The ponytail and like the hair tendrils have a little bit of a swing to them, but it's very, very, very slight. I can add those in real fast though. And then we'll move on to the animation page and I'll show you what to do on the animation page. Let me sip some water. Sorry, I'm not much of a teacher. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all these parameters all the way down to breath. Yes. And then the hair move I don't really need for this project. I'm gonna delete those two. So now I just have my parameters. Now how to make your own parameters is, so if I go into this ear and I want this ear specifically to move, I'm gonna select out of that. Hold on, stop. Do not select that, thank you. We're gonna create our own parameters for that ear. So make a new parameter, I'm gonna call it ear. Left or right? Left. We'll call it left. Ear left. And now that I have that selected, we're gonna add a keyform. Go all the way to this end here, and then I'm just gonna kind of rotate it a little bit, maybe. No, that's a little much. It's very slight. It's very slight, very subtle, because I didn't draw the entire ear. So it may even not be necessary to do. But we can experiment. That's the fun thing about it, right? So I'm gonna try and rotate a little more, maybe this way. Maybe like a little more this way. It's a very slight and very subtle, and you're not really gonna see it on the emote, but and then I'll do the same to the other ear. Add keyforms. We're gonna kind of rotate it this way. See how I said, like, I didn't draw that entire ear? So now it's like choppy. That's why it's like, I probably won't even do this to the emote. This is why I'm trying to tell the importance of knowing how to clip things correctly. Because if you do go and you want to animate that piece, you want to move that piece, it's going to end up looking like that, where you have like just this piece floating here. So what we're gonna do is not animate the ears. We'll just have the up and down, we'll just have like the basics, right? I'm gonna delete those then. Delete that one. And then we just got like the arms moving, the eye blink, and then breath. So it's kind of like bouncing up and down. We're going to save now. When we save our file, we're gonna go save as, and then we're gonna name it whatever we name it, and then something's gonna pop up. It's gonna say cubism model. You want to save it as a .cmo3. That's going to be the cubism model that you're going to be working with in Live 2D. So we'll save that. And then we're going to go up here to where it says, let me close my files, where it says modeling here. It's very, very, very tiny. I don't know if you're going to see it. And I'm going to click the drop down, and I'm going to go into animation. And on the animation window, we're going over here to this left hand side where the file is. We're going to click the file, and we're going to drag it down to the timeline. Timeline is down here, right beside me, over my shoulder. We're going to click and drag here. And what that does is, you can't see it on OBS, but it opens up a dialog box. And it says, when creating a new scene, it'll be target selected. Don't worry about all that. Just select SDK Unity. Click OK. It'll be the first one selected. And then, since you see that it's not within the work area, we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna click scene. So where it says like scene, like right over here on the left hand side, and I'm gonna make sure that fixed aspect ratio is unchecked. We're gonna make it 1000 because the original size is 1000 by 1000. We're not gonna save it as that because Twitch only handles like 112. But yeah, we're gonna start at 1000 and then we'll go from there, just so we have a better work area. And then I'm gonna click and drag that bad boy all the way down into the work area. Make sure I've got everything within that area there. Okay, and then now we're gonna animate. So Twitch will handle about 60 seconds of animation. I'm clicking and dragging all the way over to where the duration is, and if you hover above, it'll say work area. So it's very, 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 very tiny on the screen. You're just gonna kind of click and drag that, both the blue one and the gray one. I don't know why it's doing all that right now. Both the blue and the gray one over to where you want it to end. So about a minute long. And that'll be our duration. We have about a minute of animation there. Let me click back to my work area. Hold on, let me go back to my work area. I don't know why it disappeared on me. Work area. Undo. No, why? It's like completely disappeared on me. Fun times! Fun times working in programs. Alright, give me a sec. This has completely disappeared. Alright. Look! My thing's gone now. Lovely. Alright. We're gonna start, yeah, we're starting at 0 and then we're ending at about a minute. Let me go back and fix everything here. About a minute. And my duration be also about a minute. I may have to just not do this with the tablet. There. Alright, where did it go? Where did my picture go? Reset everything. Alright, where's my... Where'd you go? Where'd you go? It disappeared. It's all gone. It disappeared. Okay, I'm gonna set that up again. I'm having problems with the program lately. No, we don't want to save it. We're gonna do the exact same thing again. So, animation. I'm putting the tablet down, so if I do this with like the mouse, it'd be better. Animation. Click and drag into the workspace. We're gonna select SDK Unity. There she is. We're gonna go over here. Select the scene 1. Unchecked fix aspect ratio. Change the size to 1000 by 1000. 1000 by 1000. I'm gonna zoom out. Move this down. Thank you, thank you. Move this down into the work area. Thank you, thank you. And then I'm gonna scroll over and then hopefully I don't lose everything. I'm gonna click outside. There we go. I'm gonna click outside. Click and drag so that the work area is compressed down to about a minute. Same thing here. Just make sure all your bars are lined up, pretty much. And then duration also. I can get it to click and drag and cooperate with me. Duration. No. Duration. Here. Lord have mercy. Alright, there. Alright. Well, okay. I don't know why I keep losing the, there we go. There it is. Alright, starting at 0 here. Start here. Thank you much. And then we're going to go to this dialog box. We're going to click the arrow down. And then we're going to click Live 2D Parameters. Click the arrow down. And what we're going to do, since we're starting at 0, we're going to leave that as is. Sorry, my work area is annoying me a little bit because it's not, it is not where I want it to be. I'm going to move that again. Move it again. No, don't do that. Why would you do that? Okay. Start at 0. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the timeline here. So you see like the up and down parallel lines here. And that will be where I put my first keyframe. So where's my tablet? I'm gonna get that bad boy open here. We're starting with the kind of like the eye is closed. You can start whichever one you want. And then I'm gonna like move the arms. Move the eyeballs. Breath. And then we'll do the opposite on the next line. And you just kind of mess around. Do the opposite again. Now you can like copy paste the parameters. Me, I like to just kind of like mess with it so it looks the way I want it to look. Because when I press that play button, it's not always going to be pretty. So we'll see what it looks like when I get done doing that. But yeah. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of like moving the parameters on those lines. And now I'm gonna press play and see what she looks like. See how fast that is? So you really kind of have to like mess around with it. Oh gosh. Yeah, you kind of have to like mess around with it and see the timing, right? The blinking is okay. I don't like the way that it looks, but it's okay. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna kind of like kind of mess with it until it looks all right. So, and that's pretty much what you do is you do all that, get it to where you like the way it looks, and then you will export it. I'm gonna mess with this until I like the way that it looks though, so give me just a second to kind of mess with it. There's too much blinking going on, I think. I'm gonna give it like a little bit more of a time in between them. Wow, those don't move very much. Okay, so like when there's something like this that happens where the angle is not right, the fun thing about live 2D, see these arms here? I don't like there's like zero movement. The fun thing about live 2D is you don't have to redo everything. You can just go into your model again. So at the top here you have like scene 1, that is my animation screen, and then you have the modeling, the parameters. You can just go in there again and mess with it in the parameters and it will translate over to the animation. So what I'm gonna do is I want to mess with these arms, right? These are supposed to be like way down here. I'm gonna make them a little more dynamic, a little more movement to them, a little more like difference in them. So that'll be good. Same thing with this side here. See what that looks like there. I'm going to move this a little bit more. Give it a little more dynamic movement to it. There. So it has like an up and down swing. And now that I've done that, I can go back to my scene up here, which is in this tab. Click play. Now it's still got the timing off, but it gives it a little more oomph to it. And that means I don't have to go in and like change the parameters again. I can just go ahead with it. I'm gonna delete these keyframes real quick. Delete keyframes. See what that does. Just gotta kind of mess with it. See, that's a nice blink. I like the blink. It needs a little more like arm movement though. There's like barely any arm movement. Go in. Let me check my angles here. I'm gonna delete the in-betweens, I think. Delete. See what that looks like. Now it's too slow. Okay. Let me delete. I don't like the way that looks really. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go in between, so every other line, right? Which one are we starting with? Sorry, this is gonna take just a minute for me to like see what I like with it. So there and there and there. Same thing on this side. I'm gonna move this here and here, here and here and here. That's better. I still think there should be like more dynamicness with the arms though. And I moved them very, very, very far. So I like the blink. I like the up and down. I don't like the arm movement. So give me just a second. I'm gonna give it a little more oomph with the arm movement. With the arm movement. It ends here and it ends here. I think starting it will start on this end. Play. It's still like shaking a little bit. It's not really what I want it to do. You really just kind of gotta mess with it until you like it, basically. So that's open, close. Why is that there? Okay. Interesting, interesting. Alright. I'm gonna delete this keyframe, I think. Delete these. Delete, delete, delete. Delete the whole line. Alright, let me just mess with it a little more. Fun, fun, fun. The fun of animation. Alright. Do that again. Do it again. Okay, we want to start. I want to start. Start with the arm like over here. There we go. I want to start with the arms over here. And there, and there, and there, and there, and there. And then we're gonna go in between, right? So we're gonna kind of, it's not doing anything now. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes the program just breaks. Now it's not doing anything. There we go. And then I want to go here and here. And here and here and here. What does that look like? That's better! Yay! So that's that is basically what I want it to look like. I think I want it to have like a little more oomph to it, but that's better. That is much better. Now what I could also do if we didn't like the way that looks, say we want one arm to go up, one arm to go down in like opposite succession. Give me a sec, and then we'll just go in and we'll move the sliders, right? So we'll have move this one here. It's not doing anything. Of course it's not. I broke it. Move the sliders. Nothing's happening. Alright. Oops. Okay. I actually like it. I actually like it. Let me give it a little more. I just want to give it a little more, like, oomph to it, you know? Let's stop there. I'm gonna mess with that a little bit. See, now nothing's happening. So I'm gonna have to take that as my sign to stop messing around with it. So if I wanted to go and, like, just make the arms opposite each other. We'll try that. We'll see what that looks like, right? So now you can kind of like move the arms opposite each other. I don't know why the arm's not moving now. But if you wanted to do that, you can move the arms like opposite of each other. Actually, that might give it a little more motion. Okay. There and there. There and there. Move that and that. See, it's like moving there. Sometimes the program's broken. Like that. I kind of like that too. But I know that like my original commissioner liked the arms moving together. So what I'm gonna do is just move it back to where it was. I'm gonna stop. Go back to my keyframes that I had. We're gonna move it back to where it was. Move that where it was. Move that where it was, and then move that where it was, because that's how my commissioner wanted it. Make sure you pay attention to what your commissioner likes. Be in communication always. So yeah, that looks good. Well, what we're going to do, since this is how we want the animated emote to look like, we're gonna go to File. We're gonna go Export Image/Video, and click GIF Animation. I'm gonna call it a GIF. I'll call it a GIF. Now, two things. Now, if you export it as a GIF, you have to scale it down to where Twitch can use it. So, let's see. The animation output settings dialog box is gonna pop up. The original size is 1000 by 1000. I'm gonna save this as 720 by 720. However, that's not going to be usable for Twitch. So I'm going to save 2 copies. The 720 by 720 is usable in like Discord, reactives, things like that. You're going to make sure that you have loop, make background transparent, error diffusion, all that checked when you go to save it. I know it's not showing up on OBS. I don't know why. And then frame rate 16 FPS or less is recommended. That should automatically save for you. So I'm going to press OK. And it will save that as a GIF. I'm gonna name it Ori Light Stick because it's for Ori Light Stick 1.0 because there's already one that I made. I'm gonna save that. And then give it a second for the output to progress. Now that I have that, I have the original file, and then I'm going to save as, again, no, I'm not going to save, I'm going to import. Import, you're going to import. So I'm going to file, import, or not import, export image video, GIF animation, and then we're going to change the size to 112 by 112. 112 by 112 is the highest size for an animated emote that Twitch will accept. So make sure that when you save these files, if you do 2 files, make sure you save one that is usable by Twitch. 112 by 112 will be the animation for that. Make background transparent, make sure that's click OK. And then we're gonna go in and we're gonna also call that, I'm gonna call it Light Stick 1.0, and then I'm gonna put like 112 on the end so I know which one it is. 112. We're gonna save that. Okay, and then I'm going to import it as an image and hope that it works. I'm gonna import it into OBS and hope that it works. Okay. Oh, let's see what it looks like because my program's broken. Hopefully it works. And I'm probably gonna end stream here soon. I know it's a really short stream, but I wanted to go ahead and get this done. So I have something I could put on YouTube for like a VOD. All right, so let me get the file open here. It's buried under my like commissions folder. Okay, and then I will show you the like 720 size. Can you find it? 112 size. Where's the 720 size? 1.0. Okay. I have 2 versions of this. Perfect. All right, it looks great. Okay. there it is. There's the finished emote. Hydrate stretch. Thank you very much. So there is the finished emote. Yeah. It is. It looks good. There are things that I'm not. I'm always not happy with things. I'm always like, I want to fix it, but for the purposes of like having like an emote, this is great. I'm happy with that. I'll have to. I could do a comparison side by side. I'm having problems with the program right now, but there's the finished emote that we just made. Right? Yay! Yippee! There's the finished emote we just made, and I'm gonna hydrate. Thank you for the redeem. I think the other one has a little more emotion. I kind of like both of them, so it's fine. I'll show you the other one as well, the original, and then we'll raid to someone, and yeah, we'll go ahead and end. I appreciate everybody that came by. I know it's a really a super short stream, but yeah. I know I was never gonna be able to do it on my own. Okay, here's the original one. It's got a little more like a little more shakies to it. So this is what I mean, but like you just kind of have to mess around in the program to get it to where you want it to look good. I kind of like the second version though. Not gonna lie. All right, so there we go. Those are those, and I'm gonna turn those off so we don't have like 15 things going on at once. That's the one we just made. And I'll turn that off, and I'm gonna save again just to make sure, and then I'll send you guys over. I don't know where I'm gonna send you guys over, but I'm gonna send you somewhere, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. I don't know how I feel tomorrow, but might just play Zelda tomorrow. Yeah, so thank you for coming to my little tutorial stream. I know it was very, very short and probably overwhelming, and I'm not that great of a teacher, but it was fun. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna save that again. Let me make sure I save that. It's like to do all that work and then it doesn't work. Alright. Save that. Very overwhelmed with my own studies in this. It's fine. It's kind of like meant for YouTube anyway, but I'm really bad at editing videos, so. Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna see who's on to raid now. Let's see who I can send you over to. I don't know if anybody is on because it is, it's Wednesday? It's Wednesday or Thursday? I think it's Wednesday. Most people oh my god, that scared the hell out of me. Thank you. Let me see. Not very many people stream on Wednesday night, so I may not be able to send you over to anyone. Give me like 5 seconds. I'll send you over to Room Bear because Room Bear does Wellness Wednesdays. So have fun at Room Bears, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Let me start the raid though. What is he's doing just chatting. Okay, his title is like so funny to me. Okay, I'm gonna start that raid, and you guys have fun at Rune. Rune is a very good friend of mine. So yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you. See you later. Bye-bye. I can go to my